All right, guys, how's it going? So we are back with the Spanish football dailies. That's right. Must give a shout out to Gareth Turner, Copites of Anfield. He sent a few quid over. He went, "Don't get the papers. Tell us what's in them." So I appreciate that, Gareth. Thank you. I do think that I'm going to start buying these every day again for you. We did that during the summer. I just think with the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation, Real Madrid, a lot of misinformation. I think I need to keep a closer eye on the Spanish print media for you. Now, these publications you can get online, but they often vary from the printed versions, especially if the website, the online version you look at, is in English. And what I often find is with the online versions of these newspapers, is that you don't also get the opinion pieces, and they can be quite important. So I think I will be buying these each day from now until the next transfer window, I guess. I think it's important. Yesterday I did a video about the Liverpool Echo published an article saying that the Spanish media were ramping up their reporting, of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid. And I made a video dismissing that because I haven't seen that at all. So I don't expect to see much in these each day to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold, to be honest with you. It will come. As you know, I predicted that we would see it in October as the month went on, especially ahead of that fixture against Real Madrid, when they like to destabilise ahead of the crucial fixtures like that. So I think we will be subjected to it, even if it's not true. But even though I don't expect to get much in these each day, the reason why I think it's important is so that I can show them to you and say, well, guys, where is it all then? Do you know what I mean? And I can show you it and validate it. Do you remember that guy in the summer that said, you need to show us and validate as well what you're saying that's in the papers? Each day I can say, nah, there's nothing in it. Oh, yeah, there is. All right. And you can make your own decisions, opinions as to whether the UK-based media, like the Liverpool Echo yesterday, and those, the click journalists, the LFC click of journalists, whether they are misleading you a little bit or whether they're being accurate. At the moment, I haven't seen any ramping up of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid, but it will happen. Now, one thing I should say is that these are just print, right? So it doesn't, I can't tell you what's being said on every radio station or regional newspapers and things, but if it ain't in these three, especially this one, all right, about Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid, then it ain't worth paying attention to. So just, trust me with it. We'll see how it goes. Like I say, I do think we will start to see more of this. But I think that the media, I'm going to go through these with you in a moment. I think that the media in the UK, I think that clique of journalists, they know that Trent Alexander-Arnold reports to Real Madrid sell, all right? People visiting websites, people watching videos, people listening to podcasts, etc. But I also think that I wrote a newsletter a month ago or something like that. The newsletter link is in the video description if you want to jump on. It's completely free. And I explained to you as to what it could mean if you see the British media touching on this versus the Spanish media, right? And so what I think is that some of the journalists that are in what I call the LFC clique, not Ornstein, not Paul Joyce, I think that they do it for one of two reasons. One, to gain interaction on their articles or content or whatever, and also sometimes, to assist the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold and his camp. So if you've got an agent that is, a journalist that is pals with an agent, then they can certainly help them as well. And no matter, whether you support the ownership or not, or like Edwards and Hughes or not, Liverpool Football Club has to come first, right? So you probably don't understand what I mean by that. What I mean by that is sometimes these journalists will publish things to help players and agents. Well, my priority remains with Liverpool Football Club, not the players. although I don't want the club to take the piss out of them, and that might be happening behind the scenes with this contract impasse that we're being told about. So first of all, we're going to take a look at what is in these newspapers, and I'll tell you right off the bat right now, there is nothing in any of these three national newspapers today regarding Trent Alexander-Arnold and Liverpool Football Club. You may want to stop watching there. This paper, as you will have heard of many times, is very pro Real Madrid. I'm sure there was stuff in here to do with Mbappe. Yeah, there he is. When we see a two-page spread about Trent Alexander-Arnold, maybe that's when we should get a bit squeaky bum. So there's nothing in here about that. Some things that I did notice when I went to the cafe this morning that I wanted to mention to you. There is something to do with Liverpool in here in a moment. I noticed this. I just didn't know if you would find this of interest. Atletico Madrid. Welcome to the Riyadh Air Metropolitano, right? So this is to do with naming rights on the stadium, right? The renaming of Atletico Madrid Stadium to Riyadh Air Metropolitano, previously named Civitas. It'll carry this new name until 2033, and they're going to get 300 million euros for the naming rights over 9 years, right? Okay, why is this relevant? Well, I'll tell you why. Let me explain this to you. I just want to move on to this bit. So Riyadh Air is based in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, right, with its main hub at King Khalid International Airport. It is the second flag carrier of Saudi Arabia and is owned by the Public Investment Fund, PIF, right? Think about this, PIF. The airline is set to commence operations in 2025 and plans to operate flights to over 100 destinations worldwide. Now, with regards to Riyadh Air, I'm not aware of any sponsorship deals to do with the Saudi Pro League teams, right? But where this comes into interest a little bit is the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, PIF, which some people think might be interested in Liverpool. They have control of 4 major Saudi Arabian football clubs, right? Al Ittihad, Al Nasr, Al Hilal, Al Ahly. And these clubs have been transformed into companies, right? With PIF owning 75% in every one of them, those ones mentioned. And the 25% is held by non-profit foundations associated with each club. But PIF also owns the majority stake in Newcastle United, remember, since 2021, making Newcastle one of the wealthiest clubs in the world due to PIF's backing. Now, the reason I'm mentioning it, or flagging this up, if you like, is I just find it a little bit alarming that, PIF that own Newcastle United are now basically behind the sponsorship of Atletico de Madrid in such a substantial manner. This is a lot of money. And you start to think about conflicts of interest and things like that. Do you not think, or is it just me that thinks, no, it's perfectly fine? I don't know. I find it a little bit alarming. So the next thing I wanted to mention was about Valencia. Now, Valencia are third from bottom in La Liga. Obviously, we've got Mamardashvili there, Milli Vanilli, the incoming Liverpool goalkeeper. And you can understand why he's been signed now, can't you? They're third from bottom. I think they have 6 points from 9 played. Barcelona are topper on 24 points, so 24 to 6 points there, the difference. Just mentioning that because obviously you might be wondering how Valencia are doing. There was an article. They want rid of that Peter Lim, the owner, who once tried to buy Liverpool Football Club. I saw this article, and this chap here was outside Lim's home, which there was a couple from Valencia, Daniel Cuesta and Mireia Saez, were detained in Singapore after taking this photo outside Lim's home. Lim go home. Their passports were confiscated, and they were suspected of vandalism for displaying objects without government consent. The Spanish embassy in Singapore is handling the case. They've not been detained, but they can't leave the country, and the incident has sparked reactions in Valencia with support from the community and social media campaigns advocating for their release. So the reason I mention it to you is just to show that there is, disruption there, that Mamardashvili is having to, I remember telling you when we were linked with that goalkeeper about Valencia. I'm in the Valencia region, I'm in the county of Valencia. So, I know that there's mass protests. It's just not the best environment to be playing football at the moment. That's probably a good way of saying it. I'm not sure that's going to affect his performances, but the team are third from bottom. Now, we're going into the Pro Barcelona newspaper here. They do have coverage regarding Real Madrid. But guess what? There is no mention, no reference. See, they've got some coverage here on Real Madrid, but there is no reference to Trent Alexander-Arnold. But what I did see was this, and I shit my pants when I saw it, to be honest with you, because I saw a picture of Virgil van Dijk, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, here we fucking go. Right, and it mentions Liverpool and Juventus, all right? And this article, in a nutshell, if I can, I don't think I need to, I would have liked to have told you what the exact headline was. Basically, it's to do with Liverpool and Juventus being fortresses of clubs at the moment. I can't see it. To be honest with you, but it's not important. You don't really need to know the headline. So I was like, what's this got to do with Virgil? But they've just included the picture because they're talking about Liverpool Football Club. And what the Spanish media are saying is that Liverpool and Juventus, especially Liverpool, have started off the season extremely, doing so well defensively. And that's basically it, really. So there's nothing to panic with regard to. I was having my coffee, I was like flicking through the papers, I thought there's going to be nothing in here, to do with Liverpool and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I saw Virgil, I was like, whoa, when I saw Liverpool and Juventus, I was like, oh my God, are Juventus after Virgil, you know what I mean? There was something to do with Manchester City, the developments, I don't know which newspaper it was in, I'm sure you're not that asked to actually have it validated, to show you. But they were talking about the ongoing conflict between Man City and the Premier League, and just basically that situation that a lot of clubs are, around Europe are watching what happens with Man City and that those 115 charges or allegations. Well, they're not allegations, they're charges, right? So that is it really in your Spanish newspaper roundup today. So. And I'm quite happy that there's nothing in here about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like I say, the LFC Clicker journalists want you to believe that over here it's constant about Trent. And it is not, okay? The occasional article, if it pops up somewhere, a bit of speculation about a Liverpool player is not ramping up. Ramping up is 1 report today, 2 tomorrow, 3 the next day. It's not happening. They are misleading you, whether it's intentional or not. And you have to ask yourself why they're doing that. Are they doing it for interaction and engagement on articles and things like that? Or are they doing it to help, to help put pressure on negotiations? Real Madrid are really trying to sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. You better give him a better deal, that kind of thing. So, as you know, I've stuck with the opinion for some time that I do not believe that Real Madrid have been chasing or tracking Trent Alexander-Arnold for years, which is what the Click journalists want you to think. When I say Click, I don't mean C-L-I-C-K, C-L-I-Q-U-E, the Click of journalists. They're all friends, they all write the same things, they all publish at the same time, they all piggyback onto the real journalists out there, like Paul Joyce, if you like, certainly the most connected with Liverpool Football Club, or the people that run the club on a day-to-day basis. I think, as I have always maintained, the longer it goes into the year, the more worrying it gets with Trent's situation especially. And then Real Madrid obviously would look at that player if he becomes available on a free, but I don't believe that they would have ever shelled out 100 million, 150 million, 120 million, 80 million, whatever, all right, which is what they've tried to imply for some time. And they can do any article about Trent Alexander-Arnold and they'll bolt on somewhere, the much coveted, player by Real Madrid, and it's just not true. However, if he becomes available on a free, then yes, absolutely, of course, they're going to sniff around a player that is available on a free. And I think the longer it gets into the year, the more, dangerous that situation becomes with Real Madrid's interest. And what we will see, I think, and maybe you've seen it a little bit, is you will start to see more of these articles regarding Trent and Real Madrid as that game comes around. But it also depends on, it doesn't mean that it's genuine. It could be bluff. And I suspect that you will see those articles originate from here in Spain, and especially the Madrid media. Right, my girl's calling. Let me just message her back and say, 1 second. It's her lunch. So just be careful with that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying Real Madrid are not interested. What I'm saying is I will tell you when there is something to pay attention to. I just think that the British media are misleading you a little bit, either for clicks or to help the Trent Alexander-Arnold camp. All right, guys, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm happy to do this for you. If you appreciate my efforts with this, then please do, by all means, support my YouTube channel. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment with regards to anything that I've mentioned in this video. All right, it might not be to do with Liverpool, it could be to do with that sponsorship thing. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, which basically is like helping me, to get the newspapers and have a coffee while I, peruse them, go over them for you and translate things, then please hit the super thanks button, which is the love heart under the videos. There are other ways in the video description to support me. Jump on the newsletter, again, that's in the video description, and the chat room, and follow me on social media at Duncan Oldham. All the links are in the video description. All right, guys, tomorrow I'll go and get them again, and I can let you know when things really do start to ramp up a little bit. All right, guys, take care, and I'll speak to you real soon.